So I've been listening back to old episodes of the podcast, enjoying them on drives.
Probably the first time you've heard any of them.
No, I've listened to every episode.
Like, hey, Gary, can you just check this podcast to make sure? Yeah, mate, I'll get right on that. 3 weeks after it's released. Oh, mate, that was great, but I would have changed these 4 things. Oh, amazing. Thanks for telling me that now. 4 weeks after the episode has released.
Anyway, I've been listening back to episodes of the podcast, Gavin.
Yes.
I tell you what I've been contributing. I'm the main event of the podcast.
What are you talking about?
I'm the star power. Everything I say on the podcast, every single thing, every take and every joke is audio gold. And then, unfortunately, I'm intermittently interrupted by this little fucking gremlin that thinks he's funny and has shit takes.
Gremlin is perhaps the insult that you've chosen for me the most in my life. The amount of times you're like, you little fucking cocksuck gremlin.
It's because you're a gremlin. My bumhole is so itchy.
Stop talking to me about your itchy bumhole.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Meandering Movie Podcast. What are you laughing at me for?
Oh, Christ.
Is it because we've recorded for so long and we've only just started the podcast?
How long have we been recording for? 20 minutes?
Oh, I won't put it in because this will get
20
cut.
minutes of fucking cold opens. Just save them all. You've got cold opens for the next... We can skip the next 5 cold opens.
I've got 6 to use from that, but... You're only going to be like maybe 90 seconds into the episode. You won't realize we've just done a 30-minute fucking diatribe about
a lot.
Oh, teeth and
Gaza
and social media. So yes,
hello, ladies and gentlemen.
We're back.
Welcome to the Meandering Movie Podcast.
That over there
is Gary Copeland Boyd. I am officially a father.
Oh yeah, you're dad now.
To a beautiful baby boy.
We've been teasing it for so long. The last episode that released, I was technically a dad. But when we recorded it, you weren't a dad.
We didn't know. And now we know I'm a father to a beautiful baby boy.
We also know that your wife didn't cheat on you, which is good to know.
We do know that.
Well, not like...
That kid looks an awful lot like me.
I would say it looks more like your wife than it does you.
You think?
Oh, 100%.
No, he looks like me.
It looks more like... I mean...
He looks like he's going to kick the fuck out of me.
He's got your round head.
He does have my round
like your incredibly round head. But the face
he's fat as shit.
Is your wife.
He loves sucking titties. That's how I know he's mine.
You love sucking titties.
Love sucking titties.
Yum, yum, yum. I am your other host, of course. I am Gavin.
What's your big life news this week? Or this month? What's your big life news?
Oh, my big life news is...
I had a son, so I'm like, Yeah, you can't really trump that, but what did you get up to?
We've had incredible growth over our Meandering Movie Podcast, all thanks to me, because I've 100% committed myself to this podcast, while you've 100% committed yourself to your son. Well, I think you know who has better priorities. It's me, because our stuff is cooler, and I want to give some shout-outs and some love to lots of the people on there. Primarily, I want to give a shout-out to the Film Joe podcast, who quite recently gave us a shout-out on their podcast. They did lie to you, though. They said that we're both funny and insightful, and that's wrong. Only I am funny.
I would like to add to this. Thank you so much, Film Joe podcast, but also... I would like to highlight the fact this was transactional, and we are only doing this because you did it first. Any other podcasts, don't be getting any ideas. We do not do free shout outs.
You gotta pay us.
We will only shout you out if you are if we benefit. All right? If we don't benefit, you don't get no shout out.
So the Film Joe podcast, you're the one and only free shout out.
But no, for real, Film Joe podcast, you are. Gav was like, you should listen to this podcast, man. It's really good. And I'm an asshole. I'm a total dick. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll get around to it, whatever. And had no intention of listening. I was absolutely just going to be like, nah.
You're also a son and have a freelance job.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff, right?
I also just said you're a son. You have a son.
I tuned in to the Film Joe podcast, and they are fucking funny people.
They're good, aren't they?
They are so their banter back and forth is like very genuine, which I loved, and they are proper insightful in their takes. What was the episode I listened to? It was the one we got shouted out, actually.
Yes. They talked about Alien and Galaxy
Alien.
of Terror.
And it's a really nice, it's a fun format as well. It's like kind of talking about a popular film and a shitty film.
Good breakdowns, very interesting.
Good,
And-
just a good podcast, to be honest. Like I'm such a snob that I only really like our podcast.
Whereas I listen to lots of podcasts because I want to learn from others.
But yeah, it's a good podcast, guys. Go listen. To
Yeah, it's season 3, episode 21, Facehuggers versus Body
Don't
Humpers.
just tell our fans to go and listen to that single episode.
No,
that
they'll
we
start
get
there. They'll
we get
hear.
shouted
They'll
out.
start there. They'll hear our shout out. They'll hear them lie about us both being funny, and then they'll explore the rest of their audio. So yeah, the Joe and Daisy, thank you to you both for your lovely shout out.
Daisy. I
I'll
couldn't
be
remember
doing
Daisy's
more
name, sorry.
shout outs and more things at the end of the episode. So stay tuned for those. Because if you follow us, you might get talked about at the end of this episode. I'll absolutely forget to do that. But yes, in this episode of the Meandering Movie.
Who are you shouting out? Just random Threads followers.
No, it's going to be people on Instagram, TikTok, maybe just some friends. My girlfriend, your wife, your sons.
Don't shout out Hannah. She doesn't give a fuck.
Skeleton. I'm going to shout Skeleton. So, in this episode of the Meandering Movie Podcast, if you've not read the title, you don't know what we're recording, that's a weird thing to do. Read the title, read the description. We put funny things in there. Oh yeah, the Film Joe podcast will have in the description links to the podcast. Forgot to say that, but yes.
In the show notes.
If you go down into the description, you will find a link to the podcast. We are talking legacy sequels. Technically, the Meandering Movie Podcast has done its own legacy sequel. Because between season 2 and season 3, we took an almost 9 to 10 month break and then returned with
Wait, is that a legacy sequel?
I'm
9 to 10
counting
months?
it. I'm counting it as one. We came back with not all returning cast members because sadly some of them passed away and others moved on to greater adventure. But the 2 saddest, loneliest, dumbest, non-funniest ones returned for season 3, episode 1, and now we are in the legacy sequel.
In quick chat before we do jump into it, what in the world of films, what would you constitute as a legacy sequel?
Well, do you want a definition of what a legacy sequel is, or do you want examples of legacy sequels?
Give me, I want a definition. Is there a set amount of time that a legacy sequel has to? So, because to me, just for talking sake, Die Hard 1, 2, and 3. None of them were legacy sequels because they all came out within 5 years of the
they all
previous
came
movie?
out within a regular amount of time from each other,
Yeah.
and were more or less follow-ons of the original.
Whereas, let's say Independence Day had a 20-something gap.
Yeah.
That's a legacy sequel.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there an actual definition?
Here's Google's definition of a legacy
Okay.
sequel.
Is this actual Google or is this the AI-generated top thing that they now do?
This says AI overview.
Yeah, so this is okay.
So I'm going to read this. It says, a legacy sequel is a film that continues the story of an original movie or series, but takes place later in the timeline and often focuses on new characters while still including the original characters. Some examples: Halloween, Candyman, Blade Runner, Ghostbusters, Top Gun, Terminator, etc., etc. So, in this episode of the podcast, we are going to talk about legacy sequels. We're going to talk about good ones. We're going to talk about the bad ones. We're going to talk about what makes a good legacy sequel and what makes a bad legacy sequel. And we're going to start off with a very current movie that just came out, and both myself and Gary
The Muppets
have
was
seen.
a legacy sequel.
Which one?
The Muppets.
Like the first Muppets movie, or
Jason
the one?
Segel and Amy Adams.
the Jason Segel one. Yeah, I've not seen that. That's also not the movie I was going to say. But if you want to talk about that, we can talk about the Muppets with Jason Segel.
No, it's okay.
Well, with the Ricky.
You do your film.
Okay, I was going to say we could talk about Beetlejuice, because that just came out.
Yep.
Do you want to give us a quick plot synopsis of Beetlejuice, Gary?
I'm so sorry. I threw us completely off whack. I was looking at my hat, and then I couldn't stop thinking about Muppets 4D in Disney actually. And I'm so sorry. I ruined the flow of that completely. You were like lining me up for a pitch.
Yep.
It was going to be a home run.
Uh-huh.
It was going to be perfect.
It
And
wouldn't be the Meandering Movie podcast if it wasn't you just taking a
but
hard left turn into the Muppets.
I feel bad about that one. I derailed that so much. I couldn't stop thinking about Muppets 4D.
Why are we talking about Muppets? Why are you thinking about Muppets 4D?
I don't know.
What about your hat makes you think Muppets 4D?
Honestly, nothing. Which is all the more.
What am I supposed to do with
Which
that?
is even more. It's more infuriating. I know. Right. Beetlejuice came out this week.
As of recording, it came out, more or less this week.
This week.
I think it came out like 8-9 days ago.
8-9 days
as of
ago.
recording.
And we've both seen it.
Yeah, we both did.
And it is obviously a sequel to Beetlejuice. It is 30...
We have the original Beetlejuice came out in 1980.
86?
Yeah.
So it's 25 years later. Oh boy. Oh boy.
We landed on different places. So 1988, the original. one came out.
Okay, so we are 4 years, 26 years. Yeah, we did land in different places because you watched it and you didn't mind it.
I went on a journey with it, which is I watched it and thought the first half was so boring and trite and just what I don't like about legacy sequels. I was like, ugh, I don't care. Like, this is another Tim Burton dud. And then there's like, maybe it's just after the halfway point.
I can tell you the exact timing of it because I can tell you it's an hour in.
Okay.
The film is an hour and 47 minutes, and
Yeah.
an hour into it, they go to the underworld for the first time. Oh no, sorry, Beetlejuice gets invoked for the first time.
Yeah.
An hour.
But that's the original Beetlejuice. He was only in it for like 15-20 minutes. You know, they keep him. I'm glad they did that. They didn't just have like Beetlejuice the whole movie.
Yeah, but the original Beetlejuice is setting up an interesting premise.
Yes, yes, I can't disagree. The premise of this one is there are too many premises. It's his.
So yeah, well, let's real quick fire round. Ding 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 ding. You have got Beetlejuice's brand new but apparently important ex-wife trying to get back in his life.
i.e. Tim Burton's real life girlfriend, Monica
Tim Burton's
Bellucci.
real life girlfriend. You have got Jenna Ortega who gets duped by a ghost to switch places with him in the afterlife. You have got Lydia Dietz, who's husband and father of Jenna Ortega, who another plot thread is wants to go and see her dad who's dead. So they are trying to get to the underworld to find the dad. And Lydia Dietz needs to go, Winona Ryder has to go and save her daughter from the underworld. You have got Beetlejuice trying to marry Lydia Dietz, which is fine because that's the premise. That's the whole film. It should be the whole film. You have got, there's one more.
So you've got the stuff with Justin Theroux, where he wants to marry.
Justin Theroux wanted to marry Lydia Dietz because she's rich. You have got Catherine O'Hara wanting to reconnect with her now dead husband because the real life actor is a paedophile and wasn't invited back.
There are
Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis
gone.
don't exist.
I mean,
Just one line. Oh, they're not here anymore. What do you mean they're not here anymore, Winona Ryder? That's it. This is the only explanation. They found a loophole. And they've moved on.
the funny thing about, and this movie is a
Okay.
perfect example of the issue with legacy sequels, is so they can't have the actor who played the dad back because he's a paedophile, and then you can't have Alec Baldwin back because he's currently involved in a criminal case where he may have killed a person or may not have killed a person on a film. You could have Gina Davis back, but then you have to try and work around why Alec Baldwin isn't back. It's just like some people have been cancelled, but they're still in the movie character-wise, but they have to like dance around it. It's really awkward. So you're almost like, why is this in the movie at all? Why don't we have a more focused movie? But instead we have 5 to 6 branching plot lines that don't really... Oh, you've also got Willem Dafoe as a detective.
Willem Dafoe, that's the other one. Detective Cop.
But you've got the
Ghost.
movie that branches into 5 or 6 different plot lines, and then they all kind of come back together at the end, but because they're so poorly set up and delivered, that when it comes to them coming together at the end, they're just kind of like, there he is, done. Out of the way. Over with that one. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Danny DeVito's got a cameo.
He's in the movie, yeah.
Inexplicably.
I think the weirdest thing about the movie is Monica Bellucci being in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Either
you take out that character and the whole film exists. The whole film continues the exact same.
Yeah, nothing changes. You could also take out Willem Dafoe's character.
Yep.
Nothing would change. You could also take out the stuff with Jenna Ortega and the ghost kid.
Specifically, you could take that out. I understand that's a reason for Lydia Dietz needing to invoke Beetlejuice to get to the afterlife. Right? I understand the beginning of that, and I'm kind of like, all right, yeah, I'm for it. Then the reveal that he's actually the villain or one of the villains.
I mean, I think literally the first scene he appeared, I'm like, well, he's going to be a ghost.
Honestly, it kind of didn't peg me. I was like, all right. When you turned out it was a ghost, I was like, oh, that's the reveal. Then it's revealed he's the villain. I was like, okay, that's a clever twist. I'm fine with that because Beetlejuice is the antagonist, and then the ghost Beetlejuice's ghost wife is kind of pegged to be a bigger antagonist than she is. You know what I mean? Like you kind of
But the
the
problem
film
is,
sets up these antagonists, and Beetlejuice is the headline antagonist.
But the film has 3 antagonists.
But so it's nice that there was a hidden one. I don't mind that. What I didn't like is that he unceremoniously just gets written out of the film.
Yeah, it's just like, goodbye.
He's like, oh fuck, he's got her soul, and he's about to go back to the real world. And he's like, yep, Beetlejuice got him. What do you mean Beetlejuice got him? Beetlejuice pulled a lever and sent him down to hell in a comedy trapdoor. Isn't that fun? So is he done now? He's done. He's out.
The biggest
Don't worry about
problem.
him. They're moving on to the next villain, which is
Monica Bellucci.
and
then Beetlejuice again.
is going to marry Lydia Deetz.
It is the biggest problem of the movie, which is it gives you all of these storylines, but it isn't able to pay any of them except the Beetlejuice one off. So then it makes you think, what was the point of these other ones other than filler? And the annoying thing also is you could make any one of them the main storyline and fob all the others off. All of them are good storylines by themselves, but because they're crammed into 4 other ones, all of them just become kind of diluted. Like the Monica Bellucci one could have been a great story. She wants revenge. She's going through the underworld, killing anyone in her way.
No, she doesn't want revenge. She just wants to marry Beetlejuice again.
Sure, but like she's going through, she's causing chaos, and you can keep the Willem Dafoe character, and you could have it like it's a noir detective in the underworld with Monica Bellucci and Beetlejuice. Like that could be really fun. But
Sorry, finish.
But yeah, instead she has the same scene 3 times, which is she walks into a place, she sucks someone's soul, says, "Where's Beetlejuice?" The person goes, "I don't know." And
Continues sucking that
and then she
soul.
leaves and goes to the next one and does that 3 times until she just shows up at the end of the movie and then is just defeated.
Yep.
And it's like,
How'd she get defeated again? She gets...
the worm thing.
Oh, yeah, she gets eaten by the worm.
Which is what happens to Beetlejuice in the first one. Yeah, but...
Do you know what the bigger problem with it is? Genuine. And this, after talking about it a little bit, I kind of ruminated on it. The biggest issue with Beetlejuice, coming back, like outside the legacy sequel element of it, which it has its own pitfalls and pit traps. And if we're going to talk about it as a legacy sequel, I think it's a failed legacy sequel, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think there's so much going wrong with it that that has not reignited the Beetlejuice mania. You know what I mean? Like, there's not. I do not think there's going to be a Beetlejuice.
I mean, it's made a lot of money.
Has it?
Made had a really good box office opening in the US.
Like the people, please get off the fucking nostalgia train because you're killing.
I mean, that's the thing with legacy sequels. There's so much we have to try and tackle. There's like the nostalgia of the legacy sequel, and then the history of it.
I've seen so many people say like, "Oh, I didn't mind Beetlejuice because I loved that film as a kid." And I'm like, right, but that doesn't mean you inherently have to like this film. You cannot like this movie. But by the time after the first boring as fuck hour of setting up everything, they get to the underworld and he starts doing all the like, you meet Beetlejuice and he does the like, hey, look at this in my face, and then the spill my guts and the baby. I was kind of like, all right. The face bit is the same gag from Beetlejuice 1, whatever.
That bit was annoying, yeah.
Then you do the spill your guts. That's new, fine. It fits the humor.
I thought it was funny, really well done.
Then
bit.
you do then they're in the underworld and you're doing the waiting room and you're doing all the same shit that you did in Beetlejuice 1. By that point, I was like, this is trite. This is the same. There's nothing new going on here. You're hitting all the same notes you wanted. Like people want to see because it's a legacy sequel, and you're not fucking reinventing the wheel. Also, there's not really a lot to fucking do because Beetlejuice, like you said, is in 50 minutes. The underworld isn't much. It's not a huge part of the first film. It's this weird kind of nebulous. It exists, but it doesn't. The biggest problem, getting back to my original point with this legacy sequel for Beetlejuice, is that Beetlejuice is the antagonist of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
He's the bad guy. He's the villain. Beetlejuice, because obviously they want to make him a marketable character and they have been marketing him, they can't, because they're so fucking scared, and we've talked about this a million times, big corporations are so worried about hurting their IP, they can't have him being a full kind of rapey, creepy, weirdo villain like they did in Beetlejuice 1.
Yeah, in the first one, he's just a gross pervert man.
Pervert, chaos demon who wants to have sex with a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's a weird film, right? Cool. This one, it's like, oh, I want to marry Lydia Deetz, the love of my life. Like, all right, cool. And also, I'm going to help you guys multiple times throughout the whole film. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to be the hero. All right, but now I'm not. Now I'm the bad guy again. I'm going to sing this love song. Isn't that creepy? Not really. All right, well, I've sung my song. What now? Now we're going to say your name 3 times.
Yeah, the rules that are in Beetlejuice are quite annoying.
You got me.
Whereas just like, I don't really understand what the rules are. Like, if you say his name 3 times, he appears. If you say home, 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 you can leave. and he can't come after you because you've said home, home, home.
And then if he does somehow come after you, you just say his name 3 times and he disappears again.
But it's so confusing where it's like, so you say it, he appears. You say home, you leave. And if you see it again, he appears again instead of leaving. And I'm just like, but I just...
The bit at the end of Beetlejuice when they finished the wedding, and I was like, all right, cool. So how are they going to resolve this? And Jenna Ortega's Astrid character is like, wait a minute. He got you to sign that contract in the afterlife. It's null and void. And he goes, oh, and the contract burns up. And then Lydia Deetz is like, well, that's you fucked now. Beetlejuice. And he disappeared. I was like, that's it? That's the whole film finished? That was your big fucking climax? Like, I get the climax is the song, you know, like that was meant to be the showstopper. But that's for real? I sat genuinely gobsmacked. Like, I cannot believe that's how you've ended this.
Here's what I'm going to say about Beetlejuice, because I don't want to completely rag on it, because I did somewhat enjoy the movie.
I laughed once, heartily, genuinely laughed, full on belly laughed, when that song starts playing and then it cuts to the backside of little mini Beetlejuice and big Winona Ryder. And then it comes around the front and it's not Michael Keaton, but it's the writer of the song in like a knockoff Beetlejuice outfit. Good gag.
See, for me, it was...
Best gag in the whole film.
Catherine O'Hara stole the show quite a lot for me. It's when she was practicing her mournful scream, and it's just her, like, her ability to project the screaming while also just saying, like, acting like it's completely normal. Also at the end, when she finally finds her husband in the afterlife, and he was killed by a shark, so he's lost the entire top half of his body, and he's splurting blood.
That was
and she just goes, look what they've done to me.
I got bit by a snake, look at me.
Just the way she is great. And then the whole stuff with Spill Your Guts, and just like the rhythm of that scene.
See, I think the Spill Your Guts thing got ruined for me because I saw the trailer, so.
Oh, I hadn't seen that trailer. But I like the rhythm of that. And also for me, this felt as close to a Tim Burton movie, like 90s, that we've ever gotten. Since, like, obviously he's entered his 2000s era of CGI schlock. But it felt Tim Burton-y. I enjoyed the rhythm of it. I enjoyed the creativity that was going into it. I thought it was fun. I liked the amount of practicality that was happening. It was fun to see Michael Keaton back in that role. Even though I think other people stole the show. Like in the first Beetlejuice, he steals the show. In this one, quite a few other people steal the show from him. I don't think he's the best part of the movie, which is surprising. But I just liked the rhythm, the energy, the fun of it. It just worked for me by the end. But all of the stuff above the surface, I couldn't give a fuck about. Yeah. I do think for the third one, just get rid of the surface level stuff, go to the underworld, and just do a 90-minute chaos movie in the underworld. I know Michael Keaton says, oh, we should do less with him because that's... And I know he just wants to make a lot of money to do 20 minutes of work. But fucking just get into the afterlife, get Willem Dafoe as a detective, and do like a weird noir underworld investigation movie with chaos and underworld shit. Like, that was so much fun. But
I think my biggest problem is, because I did go in, and this is, I'm always like, you should watch a film on its merits and you shouldn't prejudge it. And I did try, as always, to do that. I think the biggest problem I had with it is, like, I could just wreak the fucking corporate on it. Like, yeah. I think that's my biggest issue, is that Beetlejuice felt like a Tim Burton. You're right, feels like a Tim Burton film. And yeah, this feels stylistically very close to Beetlejuice, and it feels like they're hitting, like I said, they're checking all the boxes. But the whole thing just smells like money. It just reeks of, oh, we know what we need to do, because we need to get the nostalgia receptors ticking away. We need to get money. We need people talking about the fact that we have Winona Ryder. We've got Michael Keaton. We've got, it's this, you know what I mean? Like, we've got a song at the end. We've got all this, like...
It is the issue with the Legacy sequel, which is you have to, for some reason, tick the boxes, or tick enough boxes to be like, it's all the things you remember and you want. We must now move on from Beetlejuice because
I was literally going to say, like,
that's so many other movies to talk about.
Let's go.
Like, I'm just going to give you the quickest rundown of the kind of list I've got of legacy sequels.
Well, let's do a good one next. We just ragged on one, which between us we think is mediocre and bad. Let's do a good one.
I mean,
Independence Day.
You said, let's do a good one. Why would you tee me up to talk about a good one?
Here's a quick little mini conversation we can have in between films. Are the Jurassic Park sequels legacy sequels?
Yes. Especially Dominion. Dominion is 100% a legacy sequel.
But Dominion can't.
But
be.
like,
No, wait. If there was a legacy sequel in there, it has to be from 3 to World. Surely.
yeah, no, but I would say.
But is 3 to World? Does it count? What was the gap between 3 to World? This is what I'm just saying. For talking's sake,
what was the gap?
Is it officially a legacy sequel, or does it fall into the realms of like actually it's just a sequel?
I mean, when I did some googling around, it put it on the list. The Googles. So Jurassic Park 3 was 2001, and then Jurassic World was 2015.
So
over 10 years.
14 years. Is that the rule then? Over 10 years.
I mean, we can make that the rule if you want.
I'm fine. I'm just curious as to what you would say.
I would just say, maybe not Fallen Kingdom, but definitely Jurassic World and definitely Jurassic World Dominion. Those are legacy sequels because Jurassic World is like, hey, we've got the scientist guy from the first one back that some people might remember from Jurassic Park 1. And it's like, we're back on the island. We're doing the T-Rex thing. We're hitting the music cues. Like literally it's the music from the first movie cued into here. Like we're hitting all of the beats that you remember from Jurassic Park, but it's Jurassic World with Chris Pratt. And in Dominion, it's quite literally, hey, we've drudged up the 3 characters from the first movie, and we don't have a reason to justify them being in the movie, but hey, they're in the trailers, so you want to see the movie. $1 billion, please. Like, money, please.
Money, please. We did it. We got the contract for Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum, so please come see the movie.
This is how low we've gotten with legacy sequels. When it comes to Dominion, part of the legacy sequel, like, nostalgia bump is the shaving cream can. That's where it's like, hey, remember the shaving cream can from the first one? We got that back. And people are like, wow, my God, it's the shaving cream can that I saw in the movie one time.
What do you think of the trailer for the next Jurassic Park?
There isn't a trailer, just stills.
Have you read up about it though?
No, but I know Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali are in it, and I like both his actors.
The dinosaurs. So you know the end of the last movie, the dinosaurs are out in the wild now.
Oh yeah, they're all like part of.
Well, apparently the official synopsis is like the dinosaurs are dying out. They're unable to survive in the world today, and it's like, hang on. You've just spent from Jurassic Park 1 in the 90s to the 2024 movie telling us that dinosaurs can exist and have been existing in secret, and in the case of Jurassic Park 2 and 3 and Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion, they're actually like out in the real world hanging out with lions and shit.
Like they're all kicking around and they have been existing. And now, because you cannot be fucked and don't want to have the headache of dealing with a world, because let's face facts, if dinosaurs came back, we'd be done. Like
Game over.
Game over, right? Like a pterodactyl will win anything else in the air, 100%. Now, because you can't be fucked dealing with that headache, you're like, well, I guess the plot point is that they can't survive in the open.
And you know what's probably that movie's going to be?
I guess that's the story.
Here's what that movie's going to be now. It's going to be, we have to capture some and take them to an island where they can survive, and we're going to build a new Jurassic Park. I fucking bet that's going to be the movie.
Guaranteed. Right, let's do a good legacy sequel.
So, how about we do Blade Runner 2049? We both love that movie. The original came out in the 80s, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford. One of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. It's a cult classic. Too many director's cuts. Ridley Scott always has too many director's cuts. And then over 20 years later, we return with a Denis Villeneuve directed, Ridley Scott produced sequel, still starring Harrison Ford, but this time led by Ryan Gosling. And I would say it's the perfect example of a good legacy sequel because that movie can stand on its own for the most part. Obviously, the stuff with Harrison Ford and the woman he loves at the end,
Rachel.
Those are your nostalgia bumps. I remember when she walks into the room when Jared Leto's like, "Hey, look, we've remade her," and she walks into the room and Harrison Ford looks at her and the music cue swells. I remember being in cinema and that got me, and I'm like, "Fuck, that's one of these like nostalgia bumps that gets me." But the rest of the movie is just like, here's a fucking good sci-fi movie that can stand on its own.
I actually think you've nailed it there because you are 100% right. Like, a good legacy sequel is a sequel that uses the nostalgia bumps to make you evoke certain emotions without relying on them for the entire film.
Yeah.
And you're right, Blade Runner does it perfectly because the whole story of Blade Runner, Ryan Gosling believing he's special, and then just kind of like getting slapped around the head multiple times and having to come to the realization that no, man, you're just a fucking grunt. Like you're just a guy. You're not the chosen one. In fact, even your girlfriend is a mass-produced fucking AI. Like everything about you is corporate and out of the box. And you know what? It's okay, but you're a number. Like,
and you know how refreshing it is to watch a movie, and when watching that in a cinema, I'm like, oh, so we're doing the he's the one story beat. Cool. I'll get on board with this because so far I'm liking the vibes, I'm liking the story, I'm liking the character. And then that, like you literally said, like a slap across the face when it goes, you're not the one. Yeah. You're just a cog in this wheel of the story that we're telling. This person over here is actually the one that we showed you earlier on. You didn't even realize. Like it's obviously not genius. Like it's simple if you think about it. Just
it's incredibly simple, but it's done.
Make people think it's the one and it's not the one. Done. Yeah. But it's like it's the way it's presented, because everything leads up to that moment where he meets the people that are looking for the one, and they just go, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "It's me," and they're like, "No, it's not. You ain't him. Yeah. You ain't that person." And it's just like, oh,
it's and him. The scene where he realizes it and he just freaks out. Oh man, the whole film's great. But yeah, I think you haven't hit the nail on the head. Like it's and yeah, the nostalgia bumps that happen in that one. They are good. They're good. I think that's the other thing. They're used sparingly enough. You know what I mean? Like they use them to get you kind of like back into the position that they want you to be, and then they take you away.
It's like if you're playing bowling and you've got your little walls up to help gutters. The ball. Yeah, your little gutters to get the ball down.
No, wall gutters.
Wall gutters.
No, barriers.
Barriers. Mental, we couldn't think of the word barriers. When you've got the little barriers there, it just helps the ball get to where it needs to be, but it's not necessary. Like you could show someone Blade Runner 2049, and that movie does everything that you need, so you understand what's going on.
And, like, if you did show, like, if me and Hannah went and watched 2049, and I'd say, like, cool. So all you need to know is that in this world, actually this explains it mostly, but all you need to know is there are replicants. Now I was going to say synthetics. Replicants, they are seen as lesser people, even though they are fundamentally the same as us, if not better. And Harrison Ford may or may not be a replicant.
And even if you don't know that, and you go into the movie will give you those stepping stones to get you there. But the story itself, without the Harrison Ford, just the Ryan Gosling story, and him with the Ana de Armas character, and just how the movie looks, how it sounds, how it feels. It's directed by one of the greatest directors that's working right now, Denis Villeneuve. Like, it's just a beautiful, perfect movie.
That scene where Joy wears Mackenzie Grace, is so.
What are you gonna do?
Burned into my brain.
You almost ripped the head off it.
There was something about. I mean, it's an inherently sexy scene, but there's just something so fucking weirdly hot about it.
Is it weird that I've wanked to every other scene in the movie, not that one? I wanked to the...
You're like, the cinematography of the scene's so incredible!
That 80s noir aesthetic! The Atari logo!
Ryan Gosling sat in a police car!
Ryan Gosling sat in a shower!
Ryan Gosling sat at the end of the movie! Ryan Gosling sat!
Oh, yeah, I had to put the Blu-ray in the bin. It just got out of control. I wore it down. Didn't know you could do that.
I degraded my Blu-ray. I turned it on one day and it was just Ryan Gosling looking at me through the TV being like, stop, dude.
I degraded the Blu-ray.
Stop.
I degraded the Blu-ray and I degraded myself. The last thing I'll say about Blade Runner 2049, a perfect example of why it's a good legacy sequel, is one of the most famous lines from the original Blade Runner is the speech at the end.
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
And he's like...
That's not it.
No, but he's like, I've seen things that your eyes could never believe. And then he says, like, tears in the rain. At no point in the movie does Ryan Gosling go, it's like tears in the rain?
Yes.
Because that's a perfect thing. Well, that's an example of what happens in legacy sequels, which is they say the line from the movie you've seen before. For example, every Star Wars movie ever will always say, this is where I was like pointing to you to say it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
What? What's the bad feeling?
Or Han Solo's I got a bad feeling.
Oh, may the force be with you.
Sure. I was going for the other one they always tried to slip in, and then they do the wee like wink. Do you get it? Like wink. Do you wink? They
fly now?
Oh god. I can't wait for Star Wars Episode 10 when, like, I don't know who's gonna, Jenna Ortega and whoever's hot, right? Sydney Sweeney, when they're in the new Star Wars movie, and Sydney Sweeney's like playing the new Jedi Master, and she'll be called Abadiah Skywalker or something. And she's
That's so fucking good. Just right off the top of your head.
you know it's going to be
Abadiah.
I'm Abadiah Skywalker.
Yabba-dabba-doo, Skywalker.
And she has to fight Vader Darth. And she's going to look at him and he flies towards her. And she's going to go, they fly now?
He flies now?
And everyone's going to go, I remember that from The Rise of Skywalker, my favorite Star Wars movie.
Jesus Christ. Let me take us into the next film then, actually, on talking about lines being used in films. I think technically a legacy sequel. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it is. Alien Romulus.
Alien Romulus is a legacy sequel.
100%? Because I know, because Prometheus and Covenant
Those are
exist.
prequels.
But then there's still a thing. It's a sequel prequel, right? Like,
But
actually, you don't need to say sequel prequel. Prequel itself has a sequel in it. It's
yeah.
fucking portmanteau.
You dumb fuck.
idiot, Gary.
It's a legacy sequel because it follows on from the original Alien, because the xenomorph that is in, spoilers for Alien Romulus in case anyone
Play
is.
the klaxon.
Aha! There you go. We also probably should have said that for Beetlejuice, by the way.
No,
I'll give,
it's not worth it for Beetlejuice. It's not worth it.
But for Alien Romulus, there's about to be spoilers, but it's a direct sequel to the original Alien because the xenomorph kind of cocoon that they find at the beginning of the movie is the xenomorph from the end of the first Alien.
And then Ellen Ripley blasts out.
Yeah, and it also characters.
There's so much fucking alien lore in Romulus. It's crazy.
It is insane. I didn't expect it because I was kind of like on blackout. And with Romulus, some people will probably disagree, others will agree. I think it just skirts the line enough to be good and not bad, because it does do a lot of the things that I dislike, but I think the way Fede Alvarez did it was good enough to like warrant the film still being its own thing.
So I really enjoyed Romulus. I thought it was a great film personally. Up to an exact moment.
I think I might know the moment.
And then the moment that one thing happened, I was like, oh.
Is it when someone says a line of dialogue?
Yeah, and if we've done spoiler klaxon, maybe do it one more time.
One more time, just in
But
case.
The exact line was, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah.
And
I winced in my seat.
oh, and the thing is, because it's like, if he had said "get away from her," stopped, still too much, but acceptable. But the fact he said the exact line, I was like, oh, come on, dude, you've. And annoyingly, it's weird. It kind of like crossed a line in my brain at that point where I was like,
Oh, now I'm just thinking of Aliens.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of like this bigger franchise and
And like there's plenty of other bits before that. So there's when she starts shooting the gun and he's calling the percentages down, which is the deleted scene from Aliens with the turrets. And it's like, all right, cool. This is evoking the alien scene, and I get it. Like, I know why you're doing this. Cool. Like, it's also fine. But there was just something about that one that just felt so egregious and so unnecessary when he quoted the "get away from her, you bitch" line. I was like, oh, come on.
because this is where, that's why I was saying it skirts the line. The stuff where, like, Rain, the main character, she's being shown how to hold the gun. That's similar to Michael Biehn showing Ripley. And then, like you say, the percentage one from Aliens, that's similar. And then the character of Bishop from the original Alien, all of that in the context of the franchise makes sense. She needs to be shown how to hold the gun.
Yep.
Andy's going to tell her the percentages because she's not looking, she's shooting. And you need Bishop there because he's the AI of that current time.
And it also just, and you are right. It makes sense that he's there, but for the love of fuck, why? That was, they did not need him.
It started fine because I thought they weren't going to show him.
Yeah.
And then they did show him, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. We don't need to see it. And then they kept showing, and I'm like, stop, sort of just like pull it back. Like, I just needed the one.
Because the other bit that I didn't understand about that nostalgia bump, that like get him in, because look, it's the same android from Alien. It's like, but it's not. It's not the same android because the one in Alien is called Ash.
Yeah, it's called Ash.
And this is,
I said Bishop, it was Ash.
Yeah, and this guy says his name is something else. He's not Ash.
But yeah, I think it's because
so in this movie, you've already shown me that one, there's other synthetics because
Andy
is in this film. So there are other synthetics, so you don't need to have the same synthetic from the Nostromo. 2, he's not the same fucking robot from the Nostromo, so why make it the fucking legacy character that's dead?
But this is where I think in the context it makes sense. Because as we've seen in Prometheus and Covenant, and we'll have seen in this now, when they make an android, they're just going to mass produce it and put it onto the chips. So when that Andy was an old model, that's why he was discarded down on that planet. And then the Ash character, that model is the current one that's like on the Nostromo or on Romulus. He is that model that's going to be mass produced and out there. So it made sense in that, and I like that. And I was fine with them. When you first see him and he's like lying down, you don't see his face. I'm like, okay, that's all I need. I know exactly who that is. Then they bring him up and switch him on, but he's like in shadow and you can't see his face. I'm like, cool, stop, don't need any more. Then you show his face and he looks, it doesn't look great, but I'm like...
Worst bit of CGI in the entire film.
Well, it was a practical effect that was then like helped, like the lips and stuff.
Well, because this is the other bit that I didn't get, is within the realms of the alien universe, they've made it pretty clear that once an android or synthetic gets damaged, and like in Alien, when they get damaged, they use the practical effect. And yeah, it's a bit janky, but it's always kind of existed. Like, no, but it makes sense because it's synthetic. So once it's damaged, it's just like a janky looking prosthetic, right? Like in universe, it even kind of makes sense. Same as Terminator. Once he gets worse and worse, you can see the whatever. So I was like, it's fine, just use a prosthetic. And then if it looks a bit shit and janky and robotic...
It's supposed to, yeah.
It's supposed to. It's a damaged robot. Like... You know, you've got it. It's in the bag. And then they're like, yeah, we've done that. And then we projected a face on top of it.
I mean, they used molds from the old Lord of the Rings movie of the actor, and because they got the family's permission, and they made the mold of his face, and he made him look like Ash, and then they put an animatronic kind of like inside of it, and then they used some CGI just to help bolster it. But for my personal...
Ian McDermott, that's it.
That's his name, thank you. For my personal one, I think show it once, but have his face like kind of almost when a Terminator gets fucked up, most of it's taken off, and you can just make it out through the eye or something that it's him. I didn't need his whole face. I didn't need a wee 4x3 TV screen of just his face being like talking, going, you need to get to the ship.
This is the exposition.
I was just like, no, like stop, pull it back, because now you're just distracting from your movie.
We'll move on to the next legacy sequel. All in, I think Alien Romulus was a great film.
We did just say, we just shot an Alien Romulus, but we both fucking loved the movie.
So we're talking about the bits you didn't like. Like, for talking's sake, I really do like the film. I think the horror is great. I think it's really interesting seeing a Weyland-Yutani world. I kind of now want to see more, just like Weyland-Yutani, like a movie on the Weyland-Yutani world that, you know what I mean, like on a corporation world. There's maybe not even anything to do with Alien. It's just an interesting concept.
Just the idea of like, I've got enough credits that I can go off-world, and then the woman just fudges the numbers, and she goes, no, you haven't, because it's just a big corporation using them as like cattle. And I'm like, so interesting.
And I love there's an in-universe explanation for why it's kids that are kicking around all the place, and no one's got parents because they're just all dying young. Like,
great actors, great performances. The
Andy Rain combination. Great. Holy fuck. And the actor that plays Andy, who I do not know the name of. Do you know?
I can bring up the name.
Get it up. But like the actor that plays Andy, holy fuck. What a performance. His ability to switch from like lovable, damaged robot to...
David Johnson.
David Johnson's performance to switch from like lovable and caring and character that I genuinely want to take home with me and make him my best friend and brother.
He's like Laudio Boy, you know?
To megalomaniac corporate shill.
Like Mother. He becomes Mother in a sense.
But the nuance and the performance and him just turning it off and on, and then when it comes in again near the end of the movie and he's like, you can see he's battling with it, and holy fuck.
I think
great.
So much of that performance he does is in his eyes, because when he's Andy, he's got this kind of, he furrows his brow a wee bit, and he seems like naive and sweet and just like lost, like a lost kid in a haunted house. And then like you say, when he has that switch to being under the control of Mother and stuff, there's just this ease and confidence, but also kind of threatening.
And coldness.
There's cold, and he's threatening, and like that stuff where he's like, open the door so we can save her, and he's like, no,
I can't.
Not gonna do it. And it's not even like, I want to. It's just no, not going to do it.
It's
and
so
you
fucking
can't
good.
make me change my mind. And like how the dynamic changes with Rain, and she's like, I don't recognize you. Like, who are you? And he's just like, I'm just doing what's best for the company. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, and it just one of the best performances of the year and of the Alien franchise.
I
Bill
thought it was-
Paxton in Aliens is number one because nothing beats that.
I think, I all in a great film. I also loved, the stuff they've done before is great. I know why they've done it. Talking legacy sequels, they're doing it because they want you to get your nostalgia bumps. But I loved the new stuff they did. The floating through the blood.
The zero gravity, like
Holy
acid blood.
So fucking good. What a fucking cool sequence
This
that was.
movie is a perfect example of taking a concept and using current technology to make, because you could never do that in 1979.
Yeah, for sure.
You couldn't have a scene with floating acidic blood and your characters like having
move
to
through it.
gymnastics through it.
And it's nice having a film that's kind of like, it explains its stuff in ways that make sense. Like, oh, you can't shoot the aliens, we're fucked, because if you shoot them, we're on the bottom floor, we'll all because the acid blood. So it's all pre-explained and everything's done.
Sets it up perfectly.
It sets it up perfectly. And then the character remembering, like, wait, the gravity boots, like, or gravity, whatever the fuck, purge. Oh, just a great film.
And then that ending with that, Fede Alvarez created a new monster to just horrify kids.
It also, two horror kids as well. That thing is brutal. But it also, even to its credit, manages to tie in the fucking black goop from Prometheus and Covenant in a generally okay way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel too forced. It kind of fits. It's
when I first saw it, I was like, oh no. And I'm like, oh, but they've actually incorporated it in a way that makes sense. And don't forget, it makes a callback to the worst ever Alien movie, Alien Resurrection.
No, it's
one
one of the best. Top three.
I think it's probably
top three definitively
ranked list.
If you want to know why we're having this little mini conversation about our definitive rankings, you can go back an episode and just listen to it right there.
The quote-unquote definitive ranking of the Alien and Predator movies, in which Alien Resurrection exists in an incredibly high spot on a list that I don't agree with.
Fourth, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yes.
Next film, Gavin. So we've done a good one. So let's go back to stinky poo. Oh god. Oh Gav. It smells like pee pee and poop.
It feels like pee pee and poop.
Oh god. It's seriously. Why does it smell like caca and wee whiz?
Ones that we can talk negatively about, but we're not going to because we have before. But I'm just going to throw it there. Would be the Star Wars.
Jam 2.
We're going to we actually are going to do that one, but I'm just going to throw these ones out. We've got the Star Wars movies like Force Awakens and stuff. Those are
we've spoken about them at
too much. Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny.
Spoken about,
but that's another.
But also,
example.
just in case anyone wants to know our opinion on it,
and then you've got the Ghostbusters movies. Another example. But yes,
give me another quick rapid fire one. I'll give you a ding ding or a.
Okay, about Matrix 4. How about the Halloween movies? Okay, now we're going to talk about Space Jam Legacy, which literally I'm so glad I put like a filter thing on that mic.
Oh god, one of the most, me talking about how I didn't like Beetlejuice because I think it smelled like corporate money. Space Jam 2 is
Space Jam Legacy.
That's the name of it.
Because it's a legacy sequel.
Legacy sequel. Space Jam Legacy is the most shilled corporate disgusting display of how can we make money? What's popular right now? The multiverse, having 1 million characters on screen.
Let's use Avengers. The Warner Brothers multiverse.
Holy fuck. What do people love about the original? Yeah, fine, Michael Jordan can't act, but it's got heart.
Soul.
It's got soul. It's genuinely funny. People love the Looney Tunes. We're going to lean into the Looney Tunes because they're a huge part of this. They are literally equal partners alongside Michael Jordan. We're going to have some fucking cool celebrity cameos with Bill Murray. We're going to have Newman from Seinfeld and from Jurassic Park.
Also, I'd say, I haven't watched it in a while, so maybe it doesn't hold up. But as a kid, seeing Michael Jordan in the Looney Tunes world, I was blown away. Yeah, I was like, how did they get Michael Jordan into the Looney Tunes world?
It looks good. The worst, and I'm so sorry, Michael, the worst thing about Space Jam, the original, is Michael Jordan cannot act. Like, it's genuinely the worst.
He can play basketball.
He can play basketball. He cannot play baseball. And he cannot golf, but he definitely can't act.
But there's a charm to
But there's a charm to it. And although Michael Jordan, it was at, arguably the peak of his career at that point and known, I think, as the world's fucking premium basketball player, and the film touches on that, it touches on it in a way which is like, we all know it, let's move on because he's in Looney Tunes world. Cool.
It is an interesting way to like get people into the movie because Michael Jordan and his life and his career was everywhere. So then it's like, let's make that a movie, but he goes to the Looney Tunes world to play basketball.
It's such a crazy
It's just
idea.
like, all right, cool.
So fast forward 20...
When,
must be 20 years.
2020, I think, because it came out during COVID, I think.
So that must be a 20-year gap, right? 22 years, maybe?
I really should have probably put dates next to
Yeah, the years would have been helpful, Gav, especially because you did it.
Well, what the fuck were you doing this morning?
I drove in. I got a Rustler burger. I ate against the pasty.
1996 to 2021.
So how many years is
I love
that?
watch when you have to do maths. And I don't.
Terrible at it as well. 24 years?
Over 10 years. It's over 10 years.
15 years.
Over 10 years. As long as
it's 20.
I know.
2021 to 1996. That's 25 years.
That's not 25 years, is it?
Yes.
Oh my God, it is. Oh, we're so old.
25 years. So 25, you cut to Space Jam Legacy and you are slapped in the face. And I mean royally fucking slapped in the face by, look how fucking good LeBron James is. We're going to now show you a fucking highlight reel of LeBron James's fucking career. All right, cool. Well, I know he's a good basketball player, but I don't really care. Oh, it's a real fucking advert. It's an advert for Adidas, Nike, LeBron James. He's the king. LeBron James is the king. Or I'm fucking... My eyes is going to pop out because LeBron James is so good at basketball. Whatever.
Corporate.
LeBron James is so good. All right, cool. When is Looney Tunes coming in? Because that's kind of the only reason I'm watching this. LeBron James is making a video game for his son. There's a whole story with his estranged son. I don't care. I don't care. How long is this going on for? 30 minutes. Where's Looney Tunes? They're coming.
When?
That's
not important. Don't ask.
Holy shit. Eventually, he goes to fucking Space Jam World. He goes to the Warner Brothers legacy.
Yeah, no,
Don Cheadle turns up to give the most uninspired villain performance I think I have ever seen in any movie. Going from Danny DeVito giving a classic Danny DeVito voice performance with that guy that's like, just, what does he want? He wants to make a theme park?
He wants to make a theme park and he wants to collect...
and he wants Michael Jordan to be like a main attraction where you can try and out-dunk Michael Jordan or something.
Because he's like, his monsters are like rubbish at basketball as well and stuff.
And then the whole bit of like stealing the powers, it's such a good concept. Anyway, so then
Lola Bunny.
Legacy then they upgrade and everyone gets to be CGI instead of 2D animation. And
Oh, it looks so gross and disgusting and ugly.
I'm actually just bumming myself out talking about it.
But here's the really bad part about it. Is all of that you've said is bad, but it also incorporates just other things from Warner Brothers, but in no way that's like creative. It's just like, hey, we're going to go to this world that's in Warner Brothers, or we're going to have these characters just stand in the background and we're just going to animate them in, and they're just going to like jump and clap and cheer.
Beetlejuice being one of them.
There you go.
The Clockwork Orange boys. If anyone can explain to me who in the Warner Brothers fucking office was like, who have we got in the tank? Well, we've got all these classic cartoon characters. Hanna-Barbera is ours. We can put all of them in. Right. Great. Can we do them? Yeah, it's not taking up enough space. What else we got? Game of Thrones. Bang them in there.
Get a dragon in there.
What else we got? Beetlejuice, put him in. Gremlins, slap him in. Rick and Morty, bang.
Mad Max, go for it.
Mad Max, go for it. What else we got? We're kind of running low. It's a kid's film, right? Yeah, it's a kid's film. I mean, we've got the Clockwork Orange boys. Bang them in. You sure you want to put the ultra-violent Clockwork Orange boys into this movie?
That was banned in the UK when it was released.
Movie that was banned in the UK. A movie where a man kills somebody after raping her with a giant statue of a penis. Do you want to put those boys in the Space Jam movie next to Bugs Bunny?
But they drink their milk, and kids should drink milk. Get them in there.
Put them in the movie. Fuck me.
And then it's just the most boring, like, oh, we're playing basketball. No one cares. Don Cheadle is like
He's Algae Rhythm. The algorithm.
Okay. And yeah, he went like something about his app or something.
I said this maybe an episode ago, maybe 2 episodes ago. Someone got paid for that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm ever going to stop being annoyed that someone has probably made £1,000 for coming up with Algae Rhythm, the algorithm.
They have more money than both of us.
It's
Do you know what's
sickening?
Do you know what's the saddest thing about Space Jam and like the Space Jam legacy, not the movie, but just the legacy of Space Jam? Is originally there was an idea where it was going to be Space Jam or something of a like jam involved, but with a big actor. So there was going to be Spy Jam, which was going to be Jackie Chan doing like spy stuff, but with
like
like
Looney Tunes.
with the Looney Tunes, and they were just going to do a different version of
great
that, like
fucking film.
Knights Jam, and they're going to do like Knights of the Round Table, but with jam. But
Why did they not do this?
because they took the Looney Tunes off in a different direction, and they did like
And they did Back in Action.
they did Back in Action and stuff like that, and they couldn't
It's
get.
so weird they kept doing like, oh, you know what? So Roger Rabbit did good. Looney Tunes are live action. Like we just do like live action Looney Tunes films now.
What a shock that Warner Brothers haven't known how to handle any of their fucking IP. The company that makes movies so they can write it off as tax, like they did with the Wile E. Coyote movie.
Yeah,
where they made
which
the whole
sucks.
movie and then went, oh, we're just going to write it off
Write
for
it
tax.
off.
And then they did that with the Batwoman movie or Batgirl movie.
That Wile E. Coyote film as well sounded fucking.
Sounded great.
It's like, I mean, it probably wasn't going to be great, let's face facts, but at least on paper, it sounded like such a good, interesting idea. Wile E. Coyote's fucked off with Acme and sues them, but has to come to the real world and get John Cena as a lawyer, I think.
Stick it on Prime. I'll watch it on a
I
Sunday
would've watched
afternoon.
it. Fuck yeah. Who was else? William, what's his name? That weird comedian, William Forte? William Ford? You'd recognize him. Will
Forte?
Will Forte.
Okay.
I think he was the villain in it.
I just think it's just, that's a topic for another day, but it's a sad slippery slope when we're just making movies for tax write-offs. But that's Warner Brothers for you.
But yeah, Space Jam Legacy. What another way to shit on the legacy of your fucking your precursor.
A good one I want to talk about, because we're running a bit long, so we'll probably wrap up soon. We've got some wrap-up thoughts we need to do. I want to do one of the greatest legacy sequels ever made. Not Creed. Creed is the second best ever legacy sequel. The best legacy sequel ever made is Top Gun Maverick.
Still haven't seen it.
You're a piece of dirt.
I know.
You're an absolute bag of dirt that I
know.
want to step on. Top Gun Maverick.
I know. I watched Beetlejuice in prep for this episode, and then still haven't watched Top Gun.
Not Top Gun
I've
Maverick.
enjoyed myself.
Have you seen Creed?
Yes.
Oh, stop! Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I'll give you the quick rundown. Top Gun Maverick plays on definite nostalgia beats, but it's a movie in itself. If you've not seen the original, you can still watch Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Completely fine. That movie is a cinematic experience. Seeing that in IMAX, seeing that on super screen, just seeing it on a big screen, that movie just envelops you into, is it Joseph Kosinski, Tom Cruise action experience. The opening of that movie is such an incredible opening. It's him as Maverick trying to break the sound barrier in their new jet, and it's just a movie that builds tension and builds and builds and builds, and then caps it off with a great little comedy moment, and then he's back to be Maverick, but instead of being the student, he's the teacher, and he's got the Glenn Powells there, and everyone loves the Glenn Powells, and he's got Miles Teller. Miles Teller's the son of the guy who died in the first one, and he's playing the song, and Tom Cruise is like, oh, he's getting a bit like emotional, and then you're getting the music and you're getting the flashbacks, but then it's just we need to do this mission against faceless bad guys, and that ending 25-minute 30-minute like action sequence of them doing the jet stuff, and they did a lot of it in jets. They weren't just on a soundstage with blue screens. There was CGI involved, everyone knows this now, but there's a lot of them in jets doing zero-G acting. It's amazing. It holds you in your seat. It's so good, and it just builds it. And Tom Cruise at this point is a master of action.
Yeah.
He is a
He loves it.
He's
going to die doing a stunt one day.
he's absolutely going to die doing a stunt one day, and I can't wait for it because it'll be the greatest go out for any actor ever. But just the way that movie builds and holds you and delivers on an intense action experience, it is unparalleled.
Yeah.
And it uses the backdrop of Top Gun. The only thing missing from that song is from that movie is Kenny Loggins' music, because instead they decided to use a Lady Gaga song. And no offense to Lady Gaga, your music is terrible and you can't act.
I mean, I like Gaga, but what the fuck does she know about cameras? as said by Kanye.
As I said, an anti-Semite racist.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I really do need to watch it.
It's just amazing, that I saw it twice in the cinema. It's so amazing.
What else do you want to touch on? Do you want to? You said we're running along, so we need to wrap it.
I would say we've talked about a lot of legacy sequels. We've talked about what makes a good legacy sequel and what doesn't make a good legacy sequel.
I think personally we hit the nail on the head when we said a good legacy sequel is one that doesn't rely on the story beats of the past, but utilizes them to get you where it wants to go, and then still creates a film around those moments.
It can utilize the beats to get the rhythm for the new movie.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was good.
That was good.
Where do you stand on legacy sequels? Because I feel like when it comes to legacy sequels, the primary ingredient in a legacy sequel is nostalgia. Do you want legacy sequels? Do you not want legacy sequels?
So, I mean, like, to be perfectly honest,
I would say, just as a quick aside before you go, there is more bad than there is good.
there definitely is more bad than good. Like, I think that's the thing. I think the problem is at the moment we're in a place where there is more bad legacy sequels than good, but that's because they are doing them incorrectly. They are just making a legacy sequel, and they're farting it out, and they're giving you nostalgia beat after nostalgia beat after nostalgia beat, and not really caring about the content of the film. Do I want more legacy sequels? No, because we're going to start hitting films that I truly love from my childhood, and the moment that they announce Back to the Future 4, I am going to riot. I'm going to riot. I'm going to go over to Hollywood. I'm going to tear the whole fucking place down, right? I don't want it. We don't need it. No bueno.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and I'm not going to be happy about it. Interestingly, the one movie that I'm like, I don't understand why we haven't had a legacy sequel from it yet, because it feels like it should be. It feels like it's the perfect pickings for it. Where the fuck is Gremlins 3?
I think that's similar to Back to the Future, where the people in charge are protecting it and they don't want more made because they know it's just going to be.
But then they're still shilling out. They've got the TV show, that animated one that looks like shit. They've got Gizmo and Gremlin Spike in Multiverses, that video game, like fighting Rick and Morty and LeBron James and Arya
use it
Stark
in
from Game of
places
Thrones.
to make a bit of cash, but not make a movie that's going to tarnish the legacy.
But like of all the movies that you're going
It
to tarnish,
is
I feel like
surprising.
it's an untarnishable legacy. Because what are you going to do with Gremlins 3? Get them in. There's more of them. They're wackier than ever. Like the fact that the jump from Gremlins 1 to Gremlins 2 was like Gremlins 1 is a wacky Christmas story and it's quite gory, to Gremlins 2, which is like there's a whole building full of them, full on Looney Tune slapstick. Like we've jumped the fucking shark, and we did it in the sequel. we didn't wait 30 years to jump the shark. We didn't wait for the 10th film for us to do something crazy. Film 2, we went fucking ham. So you can't do that wrong. They're kind of in a place where it's like they bring it out and it's nonsense. I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. It's Gremlins. You know what I mean? Like, it's Gremlins.
I just feel like regardless of what you do, it's just not going to work. But
Get Billy Crystal in.
I can see it
Get
happening.
Billy Crystal and John Goodman.
Why John Goodman?
Because they did good in Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
I feel like they've got good chemistry. Put them in Gremlins 3.
No,
Billy Crystal and John Goodman. Or here you go. Here's my pitch for Gremlins 3. Billy Crystal and John Goodman are roommates, and they're this is Monsters Inc.
I was going to say you're just about to give me the Monsters Inc. plot, aren't you?
Well, I was going to say, and then one of them brings home Mogwai, and then they have to sneak into a workplace. They have to sneak into a workplace to put Mogwai back in its own dimension.
Here's what's going to happen with Gremlins 3. Here's the plot synopsis.
Maybe the Gremlins have got like a power source in them.
So
somehow.
Someone's father who used to work in the tower in Gremlins 2
Kept an egg.
took a thing home.
A
And then
gremlin.
his son, quote unquote, Finn Wolfhard, is going to walk downstairs into the basement because it's going to be a cunt like that, you know? It's going to be a Finn Wolfhardy cunt. He's going to wander downstairs.
Poor Finn Wolfhard, man. We go hard on
Fine,
Finn Wolfhard.
Fine, it'll be Millie Bobby Brown then. She'll walk downstairs and she'll find the egg and she'll be like, what is this? And then she'll take it over to her uncle's house, played by Glenn Powell. And he'll be like, I don't know what this is, but I'm a scientist. I'm Glenn Powell and I'm charming. I like Glenn Powell. I don't like Millie Bobby Brown. And then he's going to keep it somewhere, and then something is going to get in it, and it's going to activate, and it's going to be a small town, and there's going to be Gremlins antics, and Millie Bobby Brown and Glenn Powell, and insert third actor here is going to have to try and stop the Gremlins in this small town. And it'll be on Netflix, and it'll be an hour and 40 minutes, and most of it will be CGI. It's going to be digital sheen yuck, and no one will care or want it.
I disagree. Here's my pitch for Gremlins 3.
Okay.
The one that's in the phone line that never got resolved hits the internet, multiplies itself like viruses, and then
What is this, Digimon?
yeah, and then manages to print off actual gremlins into the world. So they're everywhere. Every house, every place that's connected to the internet. Somewhere in this film, you can have a smash cut, like just a hard cut to like some guy in some tribe in a forest, and they're just like eating pie or something, and they're like, man, it's nice being disconnected. Back to the madness. You know what I mean? Like just like a little 10-second stinger of just someone's guy in a log cabin having a best time. And it's just the whole world's gone crazy. And then the same guy from Gremlins 1 and 2, who I can't remember the name of, but
there'll be a scene where they go to him and he's in like...
No, he's I want him back.
Oh no.
I want him, and I want his 2 gay dads, Billy Crystal, John Goodman. All 3 of them take on the Gremlins together.
He's going to be the Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbusters at Frozen Empire character, where you're going to go to a bookshop and he's going to like, because he'll have he'll have a Gizmo. He'll have Gizmo, the OG, and he'll be like, wait, something's happening. And he'll have that culturally insensitive quote unquote Asian shop that the guy has in the first one.
Yeah.
But he'll be in charge of it now for some reason because whitewashing. And then he'll be like, "Oh no, these are what the Gremlins are. You need to do these things to stop them." But now they've evolved for this new thing. So now it's like, don't feed them after midnight, don't get them wet, and don't let them drive a Fiat Panda. But the whole movie takes place in like a Fiat Panda factory.
And then they realize that if they just rename the Earth to Fiat Panda, it will kill all the Gremlins.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
But it needs to go bigger.
And
I just always think go bigger with Gremlins. That's the rule. If you're making a Gremlins 3, bigger is better.
Here's what I think: just don't do it.
No, I'm for it. Give me Gremlins 3.
When they did the Beverly Hills Cop 4. It's just like it was literally just like, do you want to watch some old men do the same thing they did in the 80s?
Bad Boys. Have you seen the new Bad Boys?
I've seen the new Bad Boys.
Oh my!
The last one,
ever loving fuck.
the last one,
the last one was sad enough. What I don't understand is Will Smith, who has kept himself in good shape, and like they even rag on Martin Lawrence in this film for being fat and out of shape.
Yeah, he looks like a wee marshmallow.
But like, there was one trailer that they released, which was like Will Smith shooting. Love interest, sexy, cars.
Younger than him by
around,
20 years.
20 years. Cars, drifting, flying around. And then just intermittently cut to Martin Lawrence pulling this. And I'm sorry, guys, because you're not going to be able to see this. Pulling this face. And I was like, why is this the trailer? Why is the trailer just all this awesome shit and then fat Martin Lawrence?
Here's what I'll say about the Bad Boys movies, having watched all of them for some reason. The action in the recent ones is decent. That is
Stop.
it. That is all I can say.
Oh, Christ.
Here's my closing
give
thoughts.
us your final
rippity
rapidies.
I wrote down a list just because I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about. There were 24 films on the list, and so I decided to tick off the ones I thought were good legacy sequels. Of those 24, I thought 6 were either good or okay. My closing thoughts...
I like how you, like, not even... You weren't looking for good films. Okay films got
just
ticks.
okay.
Holy shit.
I was...
do you want to read the list real quick?
So do you want the whole list?
Give me the 6. Give me the list that's crap, and then give me the 6 that you thought were good at the end.
All right, so the crap ones I would say are Star Wars,
Yep.
Halloween,
Yep.
Indiana Jones,
Yep.
Matrix, Bad Boys, Tron Legacy, Space Jam,
Tron
Ghostbusters.
Legacy's okay.
Gonna keep reading Die Hard, Rambo, Terminator, Marvel because I just put for No Way Home.
Just Marvel.
Independence Day, Jurassic World, Bill and Ted, Triple X, Beverly Hills Cop, and Chicken Run.
So I'm going to add. All I'm saying, Tron Legacy, I don't mind. I think it's okay. It's not great. I think it would scrape into it. Mostly held together by Martin Sheen doing his usual fucking. Why is Martin Sheen a good actor until you put him in a movie and then he just decides to fucking go mental? It's weird. It's the weirdest thing.
Martin Sheen's good in like a movie you've never seen or heard of, but he's bad in like movies that everyone's seen. It like
It's crazy.
Twilight and Tron Legacy.
What was the direction they gave to Martin Sheen in
I don't
Twilight?
think anyone was given any direction.
It's wild. Tron, I would put in the okay. The other one, you near the end, Bill and Ted. I didn't hate Bill and Ted all the way up until the end, where they either ran out of time, or just decided that's it, guys, wrap for the day. Well, how do we finish it? We'll do a fucking voiceover, whatever. And it ends. It just at middle of the third act. It's like, and they did it. They wrote the song that saved the world. Okay, are you going to show us that? Nah, that's it. Credits roll.
Here are the 6 that I think are good or okay: Top Gun Maverick, Beetlejuice, Creed, Blade
I cannot
Runner,
believe you put Beetlejuice.
Scream,
into this.
Trainspotting. That I think Beetlejuice is okay.
Was Chicken Run that bad?
It was just so
Just nothing.
nothing.
It was boring.
It was so nothing. Like I remember watching it because the first one is it's so greatly creative.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's just like it literally does. Hey, do you remember this character from the last one? And it brings back the villain, and I'm just like, why? You could literally do anything. You have the freedom to do anything. And you went, hey, do you remember the mean lady from the first one? Well, she's back.
Yeah.
So all right, cool. This is my closing thought.
Do you know who they should have made the villain in Chicken Run 2?
I'll never get these closing thoughts.
You know, seriously, you know what they should have done?
What?
Wallace.
Yes,
From Wallace and Gromit.
No, Gromit. I think would be funnier.
No, because Gromit's always the good. I feel like Wallace has bought the chicken farm.
Or it's the penguin.
Not quite realizing that owning a chicken farm and chicken factory means you are going to have to eventually kill. Do you know what I mean? Like Wallace is like, oh, I've bought myself a chicken farm. I just wanted to get a pie with some cheese, Gromit. And Gromit's like doing the face slap and then it's like Gromit trying to. I mean, really, it's a Wallace and Gromit film with the Chicken Run characters in it. At that
But that's
point.
a crossover people go mad for.
I don't know. I would have watched that. I would have made more time for that than I did Chicken Run 2, of which I made no time because I did not care.
I think it'd be funnier though if the penguin dressed up as a chicken was the villain in Chicken Run.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Closing thoughts on legacy sequels is when you do a legacy sequel, 1, don't repeat lines from previous movies. 2, stop making it like, oh, the characters are older now, so they're sad and depressed. So many of these movies is, I'm older now, and I'm not young and cool and hip like I used to be. I'm old and I'm sad and I'm depressed. So many of these movies, when you watch like The Force Awakens or Indiana Jones or The Matrix or Beverly Hills Cop, it's always just like Terminator, Independence Day, Triple X. Just all of those movies are sad. Just a sad old man in all of them. Bad Boys,
Avatar's got a happy protagonist.
Ghostbusters. It's just I'm old and I'm sad and I can't do it like I used to do anymore.
Yeah, it's very much like things aren't like they used to be.
It's like
That's the message.
because I said this when it came to Dial of Destiny, and I'll say it about a lot of these movies. Stop trying to age up with your audience. Your audience doesn't want to remember that they're old, depressed, and sad. Stay the age you were and have fucking fun. I want to watch Indiana Jones. I want to watch Terminator. I want to watch Ghostbusters. I want to watch, Chicken Run. I want to watch Halloween. And I want to have fun.
Yeah, I want to
None of these
my
movies are
childhood.
fun. It's just, how do you remember the line? How do you remember the thing? Anyway, the movie's over now and you're old. Go be miserable. You're like, thanks, movie.
Do you know what movie does need a legacy sequel? Weekend at Bernie's.
No.
The same two guys from the first one, and they've gone and dug up Bernie's corpse, and now they're trying to use it to get into a Halloween horror house at Universal Studios.
Okay, that's not bad, actually.
Right? And like you've got all the legacy bits because you've got the skeleton from the first film, the decayed corpse.
What if this is the last episode we ever do for 12 years?
12 years will
And
come
then
back.
we'll come back in 12 years after this episode and do a legacy sequel.
I think the people would go crazy for it as long as you said your classic line and I came back for a 10-minute cameo in the middle. It would be you, it would be 3 kids, and then halfway through I'd burst in through the room, smash all the mics and knock the place up a bit.
Rustler in each hand.
Rustling in each hand, fart into one of the microphones. I fucking hate this. My life's sad now. Where's Skeleton?
Well, this has been the Mandarin Movie Podcast. This is the last episode we're ever going to do until next month when we have another episode coming out.
12 years, a slave.
So, if you enjoyed this, jump down into that description. You will find links to all of our social media: Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all of those things. We're active in all of those things except Facebook. So I don't know why I said that. Lots of lovely people in all of those that give us love and appreciation.
Like who, Gav?
Some people, like over in Threads, we've got Gus of All Trades, who always comments their stuff, is always kind to us. Over on Instagram, we've got Kim Pierce, who's on TikTok and Instagram. Her stuff is great. We've got RVW. They're always supporting us. They do incredible reviews. Don't Be a Hero podcast. They're really good. I Am Binge God. That guy's stuff is amazing. They're all on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They always support us. They always show us love. There's so many of you that also do it. I'm going to give you shout outs in other episodes. Thanks for engaging with our stuff. Thanks for loving our stuff. We love your stuff. Maybe Throwdown Pod, there's another one. I'm just kind of like Buffalo Film Buff, he's really good. RC Reviews is really good. There's so many of you out there that are showing us support, showing us love, helping us grow this podcast, helping the Meandering Movie Podcast.
Can I shout out some people
on Instagram and TikTok grow? Of course you can. Who do you want to shout out?
I'm going to shout out my OnlyFans girls that I sub to.
Jesus Christ.
So shout out to Miss Cunt, Shout out to trans girl hot for you. Shout out to it's wet down there. I'll honestly, guys, shout out to Shy Slut Zero. You guys make my day, so thank you all so much. I know you don't know who I am. I know you're not listening to this, but goddamn.
Imagine one of them did.
If one of them did, and I get a free fucking month sub out of this.
Yeah, thanks to all of the OnlyFans girls that Gary follows. And the last two shout-outs obviously go to the Film Joe podcast one more time. Thank you for the lovely shout-out.
Joe and Daisy.
We will be hopefully guesting on your podcast soon.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a crossover episode. I'm going to make that
last-
joke so many times it's going to be not funny by the end of it.
No, it'll never happen. Well, hopefully it will. And then the last shout-out obviously goes to...
What do you mean it will never happen?
hopefully it will happen. But you know what we're like?
You said it was going to happen on next month?
But we're so fucking useless and terrible. Especially you, with your mum's birthday and everything. But our final shout out, of course, goes to the memory of Audio Boy. Rest in
Wait,
peace.
speaking of, where the fuck is Roland?
Don't know, probably flying around the universe, kind of like Superman or something. They'll be back one day.
Did the police ever come around?
They come around all the time.
Looking for Naz?
Oh yeah, because she died, didn't she?
because Roland killed her.
No, they come around asking about all the people you're subscribing to in OnlyFans and if it's all legal and safe.
Yeah,
This has been the Manly Movie Podcast. Thank you for listening. I have been one of your hosts, Gavin. I didn't give you a name, so my name this time is the dumb hat on Gary's head, Gavin Stewart. That has been Gary Copeland Boyd, now father of Skeleton.
Little
Thank you for
Skeleton.
listening. We will be back
A little
next
baby boy.
month with a hotter episode. Bye.
Music is life, baby.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?